Most small business research puts the cost of a bad hire somewhere between 1 and 3 times the person's annual salary. So for a trades role paying $45,000 a year, that's anywhere from $45,000 to $135,000 in real costs when everything gets added up. Most small operators hear that number and don't believe it, because when they think about a bad hire, they think about the salary, maybe the severance, and maybe the cost to recruit a replacement. But the salary is the smallest part of the cost. Today we're going to walk through where the real money actually goes when a hire doesn't work out, and what it means for how seriously you take the process that prevents it. The cost most operators think about when a hire goes wrong are the obvious ones. Recruiting cost, such as job postings, time spent reviewing applications, hours spent interviewing candidates. None of that is free even if you didn't pay a recruiter. Your time has a cost, and it's a real one. Onboarding investment, the time your best people spent training someone who ultimately didn't work out. Every hour a crew lead spent teaching a bad hire is an hour they weren't producing, leading, or developing the skills that make your operation better. Salary paid during underperformance. Most bad hires aren't identified immediately. The average small operation carries a struggling employee for 2 to 4 months before making a decision. That's 2 to 4 months of wages, taxes, and benefits paid for below standard output. Replacement recruiting cycle. You're not done paying when the bad hire leaves. You start over. Another round of job postings, interviews, and onboarding, all while the team is short-handed and the work still has to get done. Add those up and you're already looking at a significant number before you get to the cost most operators never quantify at all. Here's where the real number lives. Callbacks and rework. A bad hire produces bad work. The jobs they touch generate callbacks at a higher rate. Every callback costs crew time, materials, and scheduling disruption. It also costs a customer relationship that may never fully recover. None of that shows up as a line item attributed to the hire, but it was caused by them. Customer relationship damage. A bad hire is customer facing. They show up at someone's property, interact with the homeowner, represent your company. One poor interaction, unprofessional behavior, careless work, a dismissive attitude can cost you a review, a referral, and potentially a repeat customer. That's revenue you'll never see and won't be able to trace back to the hire. Team morale. Your good people notice a bad hire faster than you do. They're on the job site with them every day. They pick up the slack, cover the mistakes, and quietly resent being held to a standard that the new person isn't held to. Over time, that erodes the culture you've been building. The quiet exit of a strong employee because they lost patience with a bad hire is one of the most expensive downstream costs in this category. Owner bandwidth. Managing a struggling employee is exhausting and time-consuming. The conversations, the documentation, the performance discussions, the second chances, the decision about when enough is enough. Every hour you spend managing a bad hire is an hour you didn't spend on estimating, customer relationships, or building the systems that grow the business. None of these show up in your accounting software, but they're real costs that compound the longer you carry someone who shouldn't be there. Almost every bad hire in a small trades business traces back to the same root cause. The hire was rushed, the owner was overwhelmed because there was a job starting Monday and not enough people to run it. Someone was available. They seemed fine in a 20-minute conversation, so they started Monday. The urgency of the immediate problem overrode the longer view of what a bad fit actually costs. We covered in video 7 how to hire with intention. The right questions by role, the culture fit test, the investment signal. That process exists specifically to prevent this outcome. But the process only works if you use it even when the schedule is pressing and the instinct is to just get someone in the truck. The cost of a 2-week delay to hire the right person is almost always smaller than the cost of carrying the wrong person for 4 months. Almost always. Once you recognize a hire isn't working, the instinct is to give it more time. Another chance, a clearer conversation, a different crew to work with. Sometimes that's the right call. If the issue is a training gap and the person has the right attitude, investing in development makes sense. That's different from carrying someone who fundamentally doesn't fit the work, the culture, or the standard. The diagnostic question, is this a will problem or a skill problem? A skill problem can't be trained. A will problem, someone who doesn't care about the quality of their work, who doesn't show up consistently, who doesn't respond to feedback, almost never self-corrects. If you've had the direct conversation, given clear expectations, and nothing has changed in 30 days, you're not going to get a different result from another 30 days. You're just paying for certainty you already have. Act on what you know. The longer you wait, the more the invisible costs compound. Hiring is one of the most expensive decisions you make in a small business, whether it goes right or wrong. The visible costs are manageable. The invisible ones, the callbacks, the customer damage, team morale, the owner bandwidth, are what make a bad hire genuinely dangerous to a small operation. Don't rush the process. Use the framework, and when you know something isn't working, trust what